Infidel 1258 here. I've got 200 packs that I want to open because I realized I only opened 800 the other day when I tried to open 1,000. So we're gonna open 200 KS packs tonight. Let's get some packs open here. Oh, right there. That's nice to see the glowing yellow.
Oh, hello.
Right away. Before I open them, let me see. Hang on a second here. Ashley thinks it's going to be longer than 3 months now. I personally don't mind. Dom says, I personally don't mind as I am collecting SPS anyway, so I will not be flipping any until then. I think they'll go to 42, says Ashley. Yeah, I mean, I can't think through, and I feel like I'm being impartial when I say this. I do obviously have a huge bias because I have all these assets and have a YouTube channel that is about the game, but I think I think I'm being honest to myself, not even to you guys, when I say one of the things I'm proud of is that I feel I listen to and take in information and do a very good job of calculating how that impacts results. Like that, I do that all the time in my natural life, just with my family, with my business, with everything. It's something that's kind of one of the ways my brain was wired. And so sometimes it's annoying because I'm constantly thinking about different options. If I sold this house and then I bought this other asset, or if I had Bitcoin and then I moved it into silver bullion or gold bullion, like I'm always looking at options and calculating different options. And I think I'm being honest with myself when I say that story makes a lot of sense. Because they're just 15 million packs is a lot, but it's not infinite and it's not enough.
Ooh, there she is.
Yeah. Such a good card, man.
Yeah, she carried me a little bit a few days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's so strong. And I only have her at level 1 right now because I don't have level 3 Thaddeus. But oh, there he is.
He's a lot better now that they fixed the heal.
Yes, I know. Now he's a monster.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the giant kill option is pretty important, man. Oh, this was the thought I had the other day. We were talking a moment ago about summoners and about maybe bloodlust or not and new abilities. What about I did a video recently, I don't remember which one, maybe you were in it, and when I was talking about giant killer, yes, giant killer, and how it seems to me that giant killers can become more and more powerful as the game goes on. That's absolutely something that's going to get power creep positive benefit, because necessarily the Splinterlands game is going to go forward and it's going to create new monsters, some of which that have higher mana cap, 10 or 11, right? So if there happens to be a summoner that has giant killer, I think you must own it, because it's going to be one that gets better and better and better as more and more options come along. And right now it might feel like, giant killer, sometimes it's going to help, sometimes it's not. I think increasingly it's going to be a powerful ability. And if it was on a summoner especially, I'd be really interested.
The only thing I don't like about it is, unless you're playing 99 mana cap, you probably aren't going to have more than one.
Yeah.
So then at that point, yes, I know that it's so much more damage output against whoever is 10 and higher.
Yeah.
But it's also just a very situational ability. But yeah, I think you're 100% correct. Like, the longer this game goes on, they're going to create more and more 10 mana drops and higher.
And you said it was situational, which I agree with, but if what we're saying is true, that they're going to create more and more monsters that are 10 and higher, then it becomes less situational and more a certainty. And even in 13 mana matches, which is the lowest mana match I think you ever have, I see it.
I think 12. 12 is a thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, 13, you can do, you still, even at 12, I guess you can do an epic summoner for 2 mana, and then you can do a 10 mana cost giant.
You can do Kron.
Exactly. That's who I was thinking of. You know, so I think even in lower mana, now who's got Kron? You know, I bet most of us don't have Kron. I have Kron, but most people probably don't. I just think increasingly that's going to be, and I don't say, I wouldn't want a summoner that was, for instance, one ability, and their one ability was Giant Killer. I wouldn't want that. But what I'm thinking of is a legendary summoner that is going to be one of the new ones that's airdropped. And I'm thinking right now, Giant Killer is kind of whatever. It's really just situational, like you said, and you almost can't predict its usefulness. You have it, maybe it helps you, but you didn't really plan it to help you. You just put it in there, and then it did end up landing you a big win. And what was my point? I got distracted when I saw that legendary. But right now, because it's situational and because it's not, you can't be super intentional about its utility. That makes me believe that they would kind of sleep on it as an ability, and they might tack it on to a monster that has other abilities. A summoner that has other abilities that just happen to be by themselves satisfactory. And then Giant Killer is just like, because if you look at some of the other, let's look at some of the summoners right now. Let's try and speculate some more about this. Because if it's not that, I mean, they are going to do some fun, interesting things with the new summoners. They're not going to just rinse and repeat what we saw with like the Untamed ones. But like, look at
judging based off of their rares, that they might actually be all equally balanced in terms of, power.
Mm-hmm. You mean the modern rares, the Chaos Legion rares, right?
Yeah. The Chaos Legion rares. You know, because we talked about it a little bit of, they all, in some way, shape, or form, have an offensive ability.
Yeah, I think these were better balanced. Tell me what you think on this. I think these were more thoughtfully balanced than Untamed were. And even than Beta were. What do you think about that? Because of what you just said. Like, they all have that dimension of offensiveness. And
yeah, let's actually pull that up.
Like, if you look at Beta,
oh yeah, 100%.
Like the +1 armor, or sorry, the +1 attack versus the -1 attack that's what I think they were thinking. They were like, look, you know, that makes, you know, if we're gonna give +1, maybe we give a -1 and they can be kind of enemies or whatever.
Those price differences.
Yeah, it's so huge.
Yeah.
And then
Ulrich didn't have a counter to it.
Exactly. Until they came out with Bortus in Untamed.
Mm-hmm.
And this, I felt like, was the beginning of them thinking more thoroughly about, okay, we need to counter some summoners. Because I don't really think, I think these two counter each other, but then he kind of counters in Malric also. And maybe you could even say Lyanna counters Malric. You know what I mean? It's not clearly, oh, Malric and Zintar are direct oppositional opponents, because you, like, an armor satisfies, you know, if he has extra melee, great, but you're gonna hit my armor. Or if you have extra, so who's his counter? Is it just Zintar? No, I think it's not super clear. But then they came
Zintar in the life one, but
and then they came out when they launched Bortus. I felt like they were trying to answer the OP meta narrative of Alric, and now I think with Chaos they really did a good job of these Sloan gets he doesn't get a lot of love, but I think he's quite strong even though. And I think for the price differential, I'd rather pay $2.80 than $4, even though I like Kelia, even though I like Obsidian. What about you?
The counter to Sloan is put their range units in the front row.
Yeah.
You know, and hope that they don't have close range.
Yeah, there's very few that do, right? Let's see.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of creatures that have it.
It's a pretty powerful one, but yeah, it's pretty rare.
Right next to cripple, yeah.
This is one that I'm loving, but it's not it's really good. It's not it's not exceptional by any means. Gargoyle Devil is too small and dies too easily. Lava Launcher is quite good, but you know,
it's great.
What's that?
Lava Launcher, I love that card.
Yeah, but it's very susceptible to magic unless there's a weak magic rule set.
But then again, if you're playing Lava Launcher, you're most likely playing Jotun. So like his defense sure isn't great, but then you have that blast to make your offensive stronger than what your weakness is. And unless you're putting Lava Launcher in the first spot, you don't really have to worry about the mages right now having snipe. And
you know what I like to do with him is I'll put my Lava Launcher in the first snipe position. And so I'll do like one tank, two tanks, probably Lava Launcher, and then kind of some squishy archery units in the fourth, fifth, sixth spot sometimes.
Yeah.
Who are you running a lot these days?
I've noticed I'm running a lot of Obsidian, Tarsa, and Sloan. Just because it's hello.
Nice. Nice.
Oh, and then gold upgrade. Nice. Just because, you know, playing as much offensiveness as possible tends to just be the correct thing to do in low elo.
Yeah.
But I have started picking up Thaddeus more. And I actually want to go through the numbers because I've said it a few times. I think the death cards are overall statted better than the other colors. And I think I should really look into all the numbers for that to see if I am correct.
I'd show you, look at this. This is a chart. Can you see it?
Yeah.
This is the chart somebody that they collected the data from. They scraped it from one of the tournaments that I was running. It's really hard to read on the side here, but I wonder if I can save it. Maybe pop it up separately. And it might be cleaner on a... Now, I don't know if you'll see it. Okay.
Cool. Mylor.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mylor, Obsidian.
Yeah, Mylor, Obsidian, Thaddeus. So it's the full breakdown of every summoner versus every other summoner. And I'm not sure if I have full screen share on. I don't want to leave everybody out of this. Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. They can see it on the... cool. So, yeah, they broke down the win rate, loss rate, win ratio for every summoner versus every other summoner. And there are some that dominated the... I was looking at I haven't looked at that in a few days, but I was struck by a couple of them. Mylor was really dominating Obsidian, actually. A little bit surprisingly.
Huh.
And I saw there was more data. He had more data the other day. Like this is only one of the compiled. Next time I see that he has this, I'll share it with you because this is interesting stuff. And as it becomes a more and more comprehensive database of numbers, it'll be more and more maybe reliable or indicative of something, which is cool. Obsidian 5-2 over General Sloan. Interesting. Oops.
That's a bit crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
oh, nice.
I feel like probably just because of how good the unicorn is.
Goldie.
Oh, I didn't even notice it.
Goldie Void Dragon. $90, $100.
Probably around that Hondo. And then gold. 140. Nice.
I've got all these. Look at my bids. I got bids on everything. I've been spending DEC like it's going out of style though. I had 2 million DEC down to 555.
You're getting deals though.
I am. Yeah. Like I bought. Look at all these. $16. These are all Jin Renovas gold foil.
Ooh.
I mean,
16 for Jin Renova. That seems so low.
For a gold foil, man. And I did a video the other day where I was talking about the value proposition of Salacia, Vera Salacia gold foil, and I bought a bunch of them.
It was like a $6 difference. I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, and it's like, what are we doing? Like, what are people? Look at this. Look at all these legendaries. $440. These were like $3 each or something stupid.
That's so low.
I mean, I know they could go lower, but are you kidding me? In 4 years, there's no way these are a loss for me. Like, there's just no way.
I really started liking the green gin, Bilshka. And because with Obsidian, right, at silver he has 2 damage, which goes up to 3.
Yes.
Right, unless they have which is huge in silver. If you can hit the 3 damage threshold with magic, you're obliterating everything. So then the fact that he has the camouflage, unless they have magic reflect or blast, he's pretty much not dying.
Yeah. You make a strong argument.
And for 3 mana, 3 magic damage, yeah, he's pretty nice. So the fact that he's what, $3, not even $4 for non-foil is ridiculous.
I want to know what summoner, what chaos summoner you guys. So this is a private event, so I can say with a sense of safety, I'm feeling pretty hopeful about my job opportunity with the church. Now, it's not for sure, but let's see, life, death. They're checking my references this week, so I'm like, I'm hopeful, man. Fingers crossed. Life, death, earth, fire. That's it. That's all I can ask. Hang on. Which ones are which one's the worst of the 4? Maybe Thaddeus. And I'm not saying he's bad.
Let's take out Earth. Let's take out Earth just because we know how OP it is.
Yeah, and water, right?
Yeah, everyone knows how OP Obsidian is.
Yeah.
So aside from meta, what's everyone playing?
I'm interested. Open some more packs though, more cards.
Did that not go? Oh, there it is. Okay.
Just takes a second.
Yeah.
Oh, another legendary, man.
What?
Come on, give it to me.
Someone just took out my vote. How did that happen?
YouTube's funny, man. The little things like today I had somebody ask me about joining. They want to be joining the membership, but they can't. The button doesn't work or something. And then somebody else, actually more than one person, has written me and said, hey, my comments keep getting deleted. Like, why did you delete them? And I've never deleted a comment that wasn't wasn't clearly a bot. And the only comments I ever delete are the ones that are like, it usually sounds something like this. You know, I love your content, like super thankful. And it's like a long sentence. And then you click read more. And then it's like another run-on sentence that says how some sort of streamer with some sort of mailing list saved their life, and just click on the mailing list or the Telegram or whatever. And it's almost certainly just like a scam. So I delete those because they're definitely not people, they're bots. So I don't know, like maybe YouTube has some sort of policy, maybe there's certain keywords, or maybe it's too many comments in I don't know, but YouTube's got its problems.
Yeah, I've noticed I like to see like negative comments on our content.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely like seeing negative comments more than positive ones. Probably just because I think they're funny. So
I like engaging them.
Yeah.
I had a good one that was almost nasty enough that I wanted to do a video. And I'm super into having a conversation with somebody I disagree with. Like, you know, the whole being a Christian thing. I have conversations with people and they're like, you know, they disagree, and I respectfully listen to them. And I'm like, you know, like this is what, in my opinion, it's so important that we have in our society, that we can talk about, you feel strongly one way, I feel strongly another way, and we can respectfully disagree. I often say to my wife, because sometimes she doesn't want to fight with me. She's like, I don't want to fight with you. It's like, I hear you. I don't want to fight with you either, but sometimes I want to argue. And I think we give this sense that arguing is this bad thing necessarily. I don't think it is. I think humans need to argue, and argue, it has a negative connotation. But what I mean is, you tell me what you think, and I'm going to say what I think, and hopefully we're going to do so in a respectful manner, and we're going to hear each other, and we're going to leave that room with a clearer understanding of the topic in general, not just from our perspective, but from a general sense. And so I think of that as a positive all around.
Arguments where it makes everyone think about whatever their view is on something.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that is hard to come across nowadays.
Yeah, it's hard to.
People don't really want to talk to understand or listen to understand. It's more of just they want to be heard.
Yeah.
And correct.
Do you ever?
And now it's not even I'm looking to be correct, because now, and well, I guess for a little bit now, how you win an argument is just make the other person seem stupid.
Yeah. It's the two things you just said there that I resonate with a lot, and they come from two people that I have listened to a lot and respect. One of them is Jordan Peterson. He's talked a lot about how when you're speaking to somebody, listen as though you believe they might tell you something, like as if you actually want to hear what they have to say, as if you value the input that they're providing, because you don't know what you don't know is kind of the way I think about it. And then you're surprised sometimes by, you know, a nuanced conversation that you didn't fully, you know, you didn't anticipate. I think that's really, really smart. And there was one other quote by a guy named Ravi Zacharias, and he said that when you're arguing with somebody, or when you're talking with somebody, you have to ask yourself whether you want to win the person or whether you want to humiliate the person. And so often we want to humiliate the person, because then we'll get clicks, we'll get likes, we'll get, you know, laughs. But it's like, if you actually want to win them for your side, like convince them something you believe, that's not going to work.
Yep, that's for sure.
Let's see here. The Flying Squid is a card I love, man. I'm starting to lean on blue. For me, I didn't answer the poll, but I'm starting to lean on blue. So life was the winner, eh? Life and then water and then death and very little for fire. I find that I like Tarsa, but I find that you need to come to the battle with some really quick monsters. There's nothing worse than picking Tarsa and you get the extra melee and the extra heart, and you think, oh, I'm gonna, look at all the damage output I'm gonna drop, but everybody misses because she's too slow and the monsters are too slow.
Yep.
But that's why I like Kalia and water, and specifically the squid, because the squid is blind, and then you put it with, I like it with the demon shark, or I don't know if you say it demon shark or demion shark or how you say it, but
Demented for the +1 attack.
No, the new Chaos Legion one.
Oh, with trample.
Yeah.
Yeah, demon. I believe it's a rare.
Yeah, demon
The
shark.
diamond.
Diamond maybe. Not Daimon. Yeah, Daimon probably.
Diamond shark.
The trample and the enrage is so nice with the trample. Such a good 1-2 punch. And even at my levels, like retaliate.
And he goes to 3 attack.
Deadly.
Yeah, that's nice.
So I like that. And then I put the flying squid in the second position. Maybe it's because you mentioned it then, Jim, because I remember I have. Does that ever happen to you where I have a friend and he would laugh so hard if he heard me tell the story, but he thinks he incepted me, the movie Inception?
Yeah.
He thinks he incepted my mind about the movie Punisher. The modern movie The Punisher. And do you know The Punisher? The Marvel character?
I know him, yeah. I haven't seen like any of the new stuff, but
yeah. So there's several versions of this movie, and the TV series is awesome, by the way, but the movie is pretty terrible. And there's actually several versions, and they're all kind of terrible. This one in particular,
the one I know.
This one's I really, really dislike this movie, but I watched it, and my friend has this way of remembering the story that I told him about it, where the first time I guess I watched it and I told him I loved it, or maybe I told him that he should watch it. I don't know, but he's convinced that I was a huge proponent of it, and that he will not let me say otherwise anymore. Like if I ever am in his presence and I try to say like, oh no, I don't like that movie, it's terrible, he constantly rouses me like I was the biggest fan, I loved it, and it's like he's trying to weave this new story in my mind about how I reacted to it. Yeah, it's funny.
Oh man.
Fungus Fiend. The Fiends sure fell. Remember they were like $20 and even more.
Yeah. I remember I had to sell off my extras when they were around like 25 to 28 range. Yeah. I really didn't want to, but I was like, I know they're going to go down in price.
Smart move.
Yeah.
Did you sell your gold foils? Because you had a lot of gold foils, didn't you? Like back in your first wave of investment with this game? Or
yeah,
that was your first thrust, wasn't it? The gold foils?
Yeah, because I noticed that the CP before Peak Monsters was even putting up CP per dollar. I noticed that the gold legendary foils were just ridiculously good priced for what they were. So I was picking a bunch up for around like 700, and this was untamed.
Yeah,
untamed and rewards at around the 700 range, and yeah, that was when I really got invested into the game. So I was just like, throughout the entire airdrop and renting them, they paid for themselves.
So crazy.
So at that point, I was just like, everything else I get, whether if they go up in value, if they go down a little bit, it doesn't really matter to me. just because I knew that I would be getting the price or the value of the tokens before the year was over. And I'm like, you know what? If I could make it, and a lot of the numbers were actually you'd get it back in about 100 days. So at that point, I was just like, if I can make double my money by the end of the airdrop, sign me up.
So crazy, right?
And that's without selling the card.
Yeah. You're just gaining assets that it literally is printing money. It's a money tree.
Yeah.